So I took a week off for a little bit of vacation, and now I'm back and trying to get my boats running at optimal performance. I've discovered that props are making all the difference in boating, so in order to get my props running correctly, I need to get them balanced and sharpened. The sharpening is a different matter altogether, but as far as the balancing, I picked up this Dubro True Spin prop balancer. I've read several reviews on this balancer, and it's supposedly one of the better ones on the market, so I got this one. My local hobby shop had it for around $30. This will be the first time I've used it, so for this video I'm just going to open it up and see what's inside and get it set up, and then show how the basic function works.
Team Baxter.
So go ahead and pop this open. There's not a whole lot to it. Got a couple of uprights and a base, a platform, and the balancing rod itself. Packaging's not too hard to get open. I just want to save it because I want to store it in here. So to get it open, you have 4 uprights secured with the little rubber band. The 2 sides with this sort of balancing wheel or whatever you'd like to call it. It's where the rod sits. The other side, there's a base in here and a little bit of hardware. So I'm going to take a quick look over the manual. I have the basic idea on how to put this together. Quick look over the manual before I start assembling it. So I'm going to go ahead and open the hardware up. I've glanced through the manual and gotten a basic understanding on how this thing goes together. So we have 6 nuts that go down in the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and get 4 of them installed. The manual indicates to press these in with pliers, and it is a very tight fit. So I'm going to go ahead and get the pliers in and get these screws all sunk. So the 6 screws have been placed in the bottom. They get sunk into these plastic recesses, and then they pretty much don't come out. And then the 4 uprights get threaded into the screws from the top. You have 4 uprights, and they're only threaded on one side. So there's a smaller adjustment screw that goes on the bottom of all 4 of these uprights. And after those adjustment screws go on, they go ahead and get threaded down into the screws on the platform that I used before. And these thumb screws are just to tighten it down. So get all 4 of those screwed in. And one thing I noticed while screwing in these uprights is that if this nut isn't all the way down, then you're going to have to keep screwing it until the nut pulls. Not really a big deal, but just something I noticed. So you got all 4 uprights in, and now the sides go on. First, there's these smaller adjustment sliders that go on each side. This goes through the upright. And then it gets screwed on with similar adjustment screws on the opposite side. This works on both sides so that you can't really mess it up. Go ahead and lightly get those screwed on so that I can still adjust it when the time comes. So I got those screwed on. Same thing on the other side. 2 slider pieces. Slip through the side into the designated holes. They're hex slots, so they can only go in one way. kind of locks it up straight, and then your adjustment thumb screws go on there. Again, loosely tighten those so that I can get this adjusted when I need to. So there's the assembled balancer. So now you see you've got this balancer rod, and the prop goes between these two cones and sits on here. When you have these adjusted straight, and then you balance your prop on there, the heavy side falls to the bottom, and you have to shave or add material as needed in order to get the prop spinning correctly. I'm going to go ahead and mount up one prop just for demonstration purposes. But before I do that, I'm going to use a block that's even on both sides just to set this even. Just to set the height so I make sure I'm level. So I'm going to go ahead and lift these all the way up and slide my block in. This block is too tall, but it happens to be what I have right now, and it'll work fine for demonstration purposes. So you can see I got this block in, and push down just a little bit and tighten, and that way I can verify that the balancer is set evenly on both sides. So go ahead and tighten those down, and now as long as your block is straight, you have an even balancer. You can verify this with a bubble level or similar means of measure. So in order to mount the prop on the balancing wheel, I'm going to pull off this little bushing, pull off the spring in the washer, and then the one cone comes off. That enables me to slide my boat prop on there in this instance, and that'll sit right on the cone. Slide the other cone on, make sure that's seated in there properly. Spring, washer, and then put that little retainer back on there to kind of hold that spring in. Spring just kind of keeps the cone set. So that's the prop sitting on there. Get the balancer. Of course, as I said, this is too high. I just have it set for demonstration purposes. I'm going to go ahead and set this rod on here, and the prop should fall to the heaviest side. So, not balancing props before, this is the first time I've dealt with this. This is telling me that this side is a little heavy, so I'm going to have to do a little shaving off of this side in order to get this prop balancing. You can see how it always falls down to that one side. But anyway, that's the Dubro prop balancer. I'm going to go ahead and get my tools out and start trying to balance this prop so that I can get it spinning just how it's supposed to.